love the game. I love the hustle, man.
What's good with y'all brothers, man?
Hey, man, up here chilling and sipping on a good Friday, man. You know, glad the weekend is here.
What's good? I go by the name of Stealth. This is the All Net No Ram podcast. I got Doughboy Bush to my left, and we got Teddy White right down there. What's good with y'all, man?
My dog. Chilling, living.
Yeah, we back. Thank y'all for tapping in. The views and the subs have been going up, so we want to give y'all some good content to go into the weekend, heading into next week. And so the first thing we want to talk about real quick is some corrections on the last video. This is going to be real brief. So Sasha Vatenkov. All right, so we had some trolls hitting us up saying that we got some things wrong. So we can, you know what I'm saying, we can come back and correct it. And this might be something that we do on the regular. Like, we get something wrong in the video, come back and correct it the next one. You know what I mean? So we, on the last video, we I think we mentioned that he was 30. So he's not 30. He's 27 years old. And he was drafted by the Brooklyn Nets in 2017. And then the Nets traded his trade rights to the Cavs in 2021, and then the Cavs traded his trade rights to the Kings in 2022, and now he's coming over to the Kings this following NBA season. So we just wanted to make that correction for y'all who needed it. You know what I mean? So
a little accountability.
You know what I mean?
Yes,
That's
sir,
fine. That's
for
fine.
sure.
That's fine, man.
Nothing wrong with that.
But just know everybody who's you know what I'm saying, we coming. You know what I'm saying? We coming.
Definitely, for sure.
So we coming. So
110%.
we're not even worried about it, man. If that's the one thing y'all can find, anyway. All right. So again, man, so just real quick, man, so this video is sponsored by Say This Instead Etsy store. They got a new boutique. They got hats, they got shirts, they got everything you need, canvases, they got mugs. You know what I'm saying? So they are sponsoring this podcast. I'm going to put up a link in the description, so y'all check them out. Really dope people, good people over there, just starting out. So check them out if you need anything. They do custom mugs, shirts, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So you can go check out their designs.
Dope,
see what
too.
They got. Dope stuff, man.
Dope.
Really good
stuff.
stuff. So go support that. So Say This Instead. The link is in the description. All right. So we're gonna get started, man. We are going to start with Summer League and Keegan Murray, man. So yeah. So the California Classic was on Monday and Wednesday, because Tuesday was the 4th of July.
Yeah, the 29th and the 1st.
And the story for the Kings was Keegan Murray, right? Keegan definitely balled out. The first game he had 29 points. He had 2 steals. He had a rebound. Wasn't really passing. But he was scoring, going crazy that first game. And in the second game, I believe he had what? Did he have 40? Let me see.
41.
He had 41 points.
41 to 5 as far as
4 blocks. I like that. 4 blocks, 5 rebounds. Teddy, you were at the game, man. So tell me, what did you think when you saw Keegan, like, in person? Seeing him in Summer League from the TV, it looked like he gained a little weight, but it looks like he looks a little more polished. And I know this is Summer League, this is not against the NBA, you know what I'm saying, caliber type players, but he looked really comfortable out there. So from your perspective of being at the game, what did you think about Keegan Murray? And we'll kind of talk about the future of him next season, things like that.
Keegan looked great. I went to go check him out the other night against Miami. I believe he ended up having 41. Shot the ball efficient. Started off a little slow, but got it going though, man. And one of the things I took away from it was, man, he just looked so much better. Not only conditioning, but his game just looked on a whole different elevation than everybody else. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Oh man, Keegan made that next step. He's continuing to progress, and it's been so many times where the rookie or the second year guy, they don't show improvement.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? And we'll speak on some of the other dudes that didn't show improvement from last season that I feel like need to improve. But the step that Keegan made, man, was real good.
Okay.
One of the things I do want him to work on a little bit more of his ball handling and decision making when you're dribbling in traffic. He had a couple silly turnovers when he was trying to create something in traffic, and you know that comes to because your ball handling isn't so great. So
right.
But hey, if I had to give a grade, MVP of the California Summer Classic was either him or Champagne from the Spurs.
The Spurs, he was balling.
Oh my goodness,
Definitely,
he was balling. Yeah. He was definitely balling. Now, Dope boy, did you get a chance to check out the California Classic with Keegan?
Yeah, I actually did.
So, what's your thoughts?
I was really.
Now, I know. Last summer, I had to make you a believer because you wanted Ivy. You wanted the Kings to draft Ivy, sure. And I was like, nah, they did the right thing. This is what we needed. We needed a wing. We needed that 6'8", 6'9" guy in that position. But you were like, nah, Ivy. So a year later, we see that the Kings probably did make the right decision for them. You know what I mean? We'll see. Right. We'll see how Ivy turns out. But he had a good season. I think he led all rookies in 3-point percentage, I believe, or shots made, something like that. We'll check on that in a minute. But so, what's your thoughts on Keegan as somebody who was not, I'll say, a believer right away?
It wasn't like a believer. I just felt like
no. Wait a minute. Nah, you weren't.
I wouldn't say a believer. I just felt like you
weren't a believer at all.
No. I'm saying I just felt like where they drafted him at during that time frame and really not knowing what the Kings needed. It was kind of high when you had Ivy that was out there. But you and I talked about it. You know what I mean? To where they already had too many guards in Sacramento. You know what I mean? And they had to figure out how they were going to go ahead and, move around it. You feel what I'm saying? So once you broke it down to me like that, and he was like, hey, look, we already drafted 3 point guards within the last, 2 or 3 years? You know what I mean? So it made sense. Seeing him play in the couple times I did see him play, you know what I mean, on TV, I felt like eventually he would get better. You know what I mean? He fit perfectly in what the Kings got going on and what Mike Brown's scheme is about. You know what I mean? You guys said it beforehand. He's a 3-and-D guy. You know what I mean? As far as the summer league thing for the Classic, I've seen so far. I was anti for him playing, but I see that it actually worked to his advantage. You know what I mean? Like Teddy said earlier, he got in there. He got a little bit more weight on him, a little bit more muscle. You know what I mean? He seemed like he worked on his actual defensive game because I actually seen him out there guarding guards. Yeah, 2 guards and the point guard. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it seems like he's trying to take on a bigger role from a defensive side, but then also be a leader for the younger cats that's going to go ahead and come up to possibly, make the team or be on the G League team. But overall, man, he played very, very solid. I would probably say out of the Kings or out of that Classic, I say he played the best for sure. That 41 blow up game, I was surprised. I'm like, golly, boy went ahead. He got active. You know what I mean? He got active late, but outside of a couple little turnovers, like you said, the ball handling, he might need to go ahead and work on just a little bit more. Yeah. But overall, man, I do feel good about him. I do feel like what the Kings have surrounded around them with Herter, with Monk, Fox, and people like that, you know what I mean? Just signing HB back, Harrison Barnes, and then bringing him back into the mode. It kind of fits what they're going for. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I'm not mad at that. You know what I mean? And I do feel like he'll eventually get better. You know what I mean? Now, as far as him being a leader of the team, I don't probably see that per se right now in the future. I
don't think he needs to be right now. We have to follow some Fox for that right now.
Right, exactly.
The things that I love about King right now is his maturity, for one. Because a lot of guys, we talk about a lot of guys who come into the league with a lot of promise, a lot of talent, but then when they get here, it's like, you know what I mean? Like, where do they go? I feel like with him, he's a guy that you can tell he's very mature. He wants to get better. They said he's been working with Darren Fox a lot. He's already put on 8 pounds of muscle over the summer. And then also too, what I like too in the summer league, I wanted to see a little more of last season, but hopefully we'll get more of that this coming season. Is his confidence? He was just pulling up nigga, I know I'm gonna crack this. You know what I mean? Crack this 3. Those are the 2 things I liked with Keegan. So the record he broke was he made the most threes for a rookie. So Keegan Murray holds the NBA all-time single season 3-point record for rookies with the highest percentage. 40%, 40.7% with 400 plus attempts. So
not too bad.
So he made 188 threes.
Hey, you know what though? You know what this summer league said? This summer league said to me is we damn near need to trust the process.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Monty made the decision that we don't need to go out. First off, we're not going to trade him, and we're not moving off of him, right?
Right.
It's more of, and we have been complaining. We're like, man, we need that other guy. We need that.
I was getting to that next. I was getting
definitely.
And you know what? Again, Monty may have seen something, and Coach may have seen something that says, you know what? Hold on a second. If we just believe and put a little bit of energy into this guy, he's the one that may be able to get us there.
How good? How good in your guys' mind can Keegan Murray be? You could do a comparison to another NBA player. You could say couple time All-Star, 25. just in your mind, like what's the ceiling for him from what you see now?
Oh,
and the team for the team that he's on, what you seen, like what we're seeing in the summer league, what we saw last year, kind of putting it all together. Like, what do you see the ceiling is for him?
I kind of see him somewhere between like a Kawhi and a Chris Middleton, right? Very long, athletic, but not the greatest athletic, but determination, heart, and get better every single day.
I like that Middleton. Compared, I was thinking that too when I saw him the other day. I'm like, man, he's kind of giving me Middleton vibes. Little different body type. Because Middleton's more. I don't want to say kind of like a tall guard.
Keegan's a little bit
like
more
a tall three. Also
definitely.
too, like what position do you guys feel like he would be best at moving forward? The three spot or the 4 spot?
Three.
Yeah,
kind of interchangeable depending on who you're playing.
But I believe 3 for sure.
I believe 3 too. I believe they played him a lot at the 4 spot, like I believe Harrison at the 3 last season. But like you said, it's kind of interchangeable. It's really, you know what I mean. Especially depending on who you're playing, but the reason I ask, because if he's playing the 4, then he needs to improve his rebounding.
Definitely.
And I feel like with Keegan, the coaches got to be careful. It's like, don't ask too much of the kid right now. This is only his second year. You know what I mean? So
right.
You know what I mean? I feel like Harrison will be better served at the 4 right now. We don't need him to score as much anymore. You know what I mean? But it's kind of be like that locker room veteran, be consistent. Definitely. But I feel like he needs to be that guy to kind of like be aggressive on the boards. A little stronger build, you know what I mean? More experience. So I would kind of like to see him play the 4 spot and kind of like Keegan kind of be like that scoring wing. You know what I mean? And he could be.
He can kind of compare him to. Well, for me, if you go ahead and he reaches his ceiling, I'll probably say, man, I'm like a little bit of a stretch, but he kind of reminds me of Robert Horry. Don't do too much, but you know what I'm saying? Get the top 5 passes that you need when you're open.
I see where you're going with that one.
Get the rebounds when you need to go get the rebounds. Play the defensive players that you need to go ahead and play. Because Robert Horry was a good defensive player too as well. You know what I mean? A lot of people forget about that because they always think about his scoring and, you know, him being big shot Rob.
Yeah.
But I do feel like for me, I feel like Keegan can be a Robert Horry type fella in this league. You know what I mean? I can already tell he's working on his defense. I was going to lightweight compare him to Ron Artest as far as from a defensive aspect, but he hasn't had that dog in him just yet. You know what I mean?
As far as defense,
once he's that dog in him, that boy he's gonna be something crazy.
And I think he's always gonna have that kind of stoic, laid back personality.
Yes.
But I don't feel like that's gonna be who he is as a player. If that makes sense. Like, I feel like his appearance is kind of just like, hey, I'm chilling, but like I feel like when he gets in that court, he has something in him that, and I'm seeing that in summer league, like that aggressive, like.
And that's what Teddy was saying. Teddy was saying the same thing.
And I feel like that was kind of like what some of the assistant coach for the Kings was saying. I forget his name, but he was kind of comparing him like to Kawhi in that regard as far as the jump that he made.
Right.
And as far as just, he was saying from year 1 to year 2, the improvement that they're seeing in the summer, they're really impressed with, and I'm seeing it too. I think a lot of us are seeing it.
And like I say, you know, with me being here in LA and not really watching too many, you know, games, and for the ones I do catch, I see that, you know what I'm saying, he's made a somewhat of a jump so far in the you know, the small stuff that I've seen so far. But like I said, you know, for me, what I've seen so far in the Summer Classic that they had out there in Sacramento, he definitely stepped up. He played a bigger role this time around. I don't know if he's going to go ahead and play in this Vegas Summer League or not, if they're going to shut him down and wait until the regular season starts.
They're shutting him down.
So they shut him down. Okay. And I feel like that's good. You know what I mean? You got your 2 games in, you know what I'm saying, that you need it. You know, you got your cardio in, you know, and things of that nature. And from this point on now, you got to just figure out what do you want to go ahead and work on and what do you need to go ahead and work on to make yourself better when the season starts.
Teddy White, got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
Do the Kings now have a big 3 with Keegan, De'Aaron Fox, and Domantas Sabonis?
Not quite yet.
Okay.
Not quite yet.
Okay.
A little too soon, a little too early for that, but we are definitely in the right direction.
Can I ask you why you said it's too early?
Because you know what, we're going off the growth that he's done in the summer. Okay. So I don't say he's quite there yet. I have to see this in the regular season going up against.
Right.
All right. Let me add to that question, right? Or let me add another part to that question. If he's able to do what he did in the summer league on a consistent basis, man, let's just say average 20 to like 22 points a game, would you consider that a big 3 for the Kings?
I would.
I would too.
At that point,
that's premature.
Could now you guys have? I mean, if you have 3 guys averaging over 20,
Right.
That you got to account for when teams are coming.
But then it takes away, but it takes away the touches from everybody else.
That's fine.
Dang near.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
Well, here's my thing, right?
Well, Herder, depending on who's on the floor at the time, you know what I mean?
Well, Monk is coming off the bench, right? Herder,
right, and so Herder,
he's like a 3-point specialist, but then he's one of those guys where it's like, okay, if you're doubling Fox or doubling Keegan or doubling Sabonis, you can kick it out to a Herder. He got a lot of his shots like that anyway, and a lot of open shots like that too. So, and with Herder, I don't think he needs a whole lot of shots to be effective. I think a lot of times he was only getting like 7 to 10 shots a game. Right. You know what I mean? Making 5, 6, 7, 8 buckets a night. That's all he needs. But if Keegan can be aggressive, especially taking advantage of some of these other teams that don't have top tier wings, I feel like those are the games that he can really, be a focal point offensively. So what do y'all think about that?
That's what we need.
I can see that.
We need Keegan to step up.
Yeah, definitely. I can definitely see that for sure. But like Teddy said, he has to step up though. You know what I mean? He has to not be afraid to take the shot. Even if you feel like you got a little bit of a leeway to go ahead and do it, you know what I mean? Yeah. Take it. Don't be scared. Don't think about it too much and then pass the ball or get a turnover. Just, hey, look, if you're open or you're halfway open, pull up. Take it, and whatever happens. Come back down the next time. That way you're building your confidence up and you're not so hesitant to take the shot the next time you come around because you're like, oh dang, I missed it.
So Doughboy,
I want to take the shot again.
You say not quite big. So I'm jumping the gun.
No, not quite. No, yeah, not quite yet.
I'm jumping the gun. I'm jumping the
gun. They have to make a huge step in order for that to go ahead and happen. And like I said, don't get me wrong, Sabonis played. I mean, the whole Kings team played well for what they did. And missing the playoffs and then coming back and making the playoffs this past year, should I say? But you're going to need some more consistency from Sabonis. And what I mean by that, which we talked about on the last podcast, is we need him to shoot the ball more. You know what I mean? They're sagging off of you to give you the ball better. You know what I'm saying? Right. You know what I mean? You got to shoot the ball better. You know what I mean? So in order for that to happen, they need him to go ahead and do that. Fox, keep doing what you're doing, and Keegan step up. And then, like I said, depending on how the season turns out and how, the ratings go or whatever, they could possibly go ahead and be a big three eventually. You know what I mean? It's going to take some time, though. Okay. They're not quite there just yet. All right,
so my opinion, I'm going to call it a baby big three. I'm gonna call it a baby big three, and because the reason I'm gonna say that is because
2.5 men.
Well, here's the thing,
right? 2.5 men, exactly.
Well, here's what y'all gotta think, right? He almost made 200 3-pointers last season.
That's a lot.
You know what I mean? So I feel like, and then Mike Brown, he wants to, like they were saying, like in the playoffs, Keegan, let it fly. You know what I mean? Like, just shoot. I remember, I think it was Game 6, I believe. Either Game 6 or 7, he's basically saying how, like, Keegan, like, you get the ball, shoot it. Like they want him to be aggressive. You know what I mean? So I feel like they're betting that in him for a reason. You know what I mean? So I feel like
they drafted me. They drafted him for that reason. So to be exact,
I'm gonna call this a baby big three. We know De'Aaron Fox is gonna go crazy. He's Sabonis. They just signed him. You know what I mean? Gave him an extension. He's making about 40.
2.5 men.
What's he making, about 45 a year? So I mean, Sabonis and Fox have to be the 1-2. But I feel
definitely, for sure.
But I feel like Keegan can be that third guy. I'm gonna call it a baby big three. I'm gonna say it has a potential. But I think we're going to see flashes of it next season. I think we're going to see flashes, and I think people are going to, and I think people are going to be talking about it in that regard next season when we start seeing him. You know what I'm saying? The summer league kind of translate over into the regular season. I don't feel like there's any reason why he can't do what he did these first couple games in the summer league during the NBA season, because really, let's be honest, nobody plays defense. You know what I mean? So I feel like he can kind of take advantage of that. And again, it's just about confidence. Shoot more threes. He already made 188. He can get up to maybe 200. His point average is going to go up. I'm gonna say yeah.
So let me ask you all this then. You know what I mean? If hypothetical that Harrison Barnes finds his rhythm like how he did with Golden State when they won that, you know what I'm saying, that championship, then would you go ahead and consider that a big three if he go ahead and gets back to his old form and can play the way he used to go ahead and play?
I don't think they expect Harrison to be that third guy anymore. I think when we first brought him on, he was expected to be that. But now he's older. We have Keegan, the young, you know what I mean, wing. I feel like that's going to be more so the focus. Harrison, he's there to just be the consistent vet now. Would you agree, Teddy?
Right. I don't know, bro. I feel like he might find his form this year. No, man. I know he's trying to.
I'm not saying he's not. But what I'm saying is, I don't think the responsibility isn't to be that third guy for him. I don't think anymore.
Well, no, I don't think so neither. But I just feel like For me, I feel like he might take a big step this year and get back to the old Harrison Barnes that he was.
Well, Harrison ain't been bad. He just had a bad series. Harrison has not been bad for the Kings at all. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. What's your thoughts on Harrison, Teddy?
Man, you know what? With Harrison, you know what? I'm at the point where Harrison is who he is, right? We know he's gonna give us somewhere between 65 to maybe even 80 games, right? So we know he's durable, right?
Right.
How many games? We know occasionally throughout the season he may hit a big shot, right? But for us and for the Sacramento Kings fans, don't expect too much from Harrison Barnes. Don't expect him to be the savior. So that's the thing is we're expecting Keegan.
That's what I'm saying, Keegan. Exactly.
For him to have the expectation.
Exactly.
Now, we kind of know where Harrison's going to be.
Right.
Some of the backlash was about his signing because we kind of wanted something different, kind of know what to expect. But
right, for sure.
Yeah.
That will fade out once Keegan elevates his game.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And it will make that signing. We will understand the Harrison Barnes signing so much more.
It's gonna fit.
Yeah, because I know you guys was against that, and I know I really wasn't too fond of it either.
And then going back to the guy that we mentioned in the front of the video when we were making the corrections, Sasha Vezenkov. What's he gonna bring?
Now what's he gonna bring?
What he's a wing. He's like 6'9" shooter. To me, he reminds me of a younger, better Joe Ingles because he's a lefty. And you know what I mean, foreign, like you know what I mean, kind of overseas player,
type cat.
But not quite as tall, but kind of has that, like I said, the kind of Ingles build, a little faster. He can run the floor better.
So he kind of reminds you of like a Tony Kukoc thing, because Kukoc used to go and do that for the Bulls. But
I guess you could say that
maybe lankier, running the floor, and being a point guard,
different body type. Maybe but I feel like he's a little more athletic than Kukoc was.
Okay.
But
Kukoc was athletic though. That's crazy.
But he's not super athletic. But I feel like he can run the floor. He has good IQ, good passer.
Okay.
But his shooting is through the roof. And like I said, you pair his shooting with Keegan's, with Fox's improved shooting, Herter's shooting. You know what I mean? We know Harrison can hit that corner three. Consistently for the most part. I feel like that's something that's gonna definitely improve. But again, we need that big man. We still don't have that big man. The remaining free agents that we have here, again, kind of the same guys we talked about in the last video. There's Christian Wood is still out there, not really a rebounder, kind of like a scoring big. Sarich,
JaVale McGee still on the market, or he got signed?
I don't know. JaVale's out there.
No, he's not out there.
JaVale's not out there no more? Because I would have said JaVale could have been a good little nice piece up over there. You know what I mean?
Taj Gibson, Bismack Biyombo.
Taj kind of older.
And Willie Hernangomez. I wouldn't mind looking at him, but I don't know what the Kings are thinking. I don't know if they're going to add somebody else. I feel like I don't know if they're just going to go in with this roster and be like, okay, this is it. We really don't.
Who's playing behind Sabonis though? Because I always told you guys, even last season,
Trey Lyles has been like his backup. But he's kind of smaller.
Yeah, he is. That's what I said. And I felt like, for me, and I think we talked about it too before, even off camera, I had always said that the Kings need to move Sabonis to the 4 and actually get them a 5. You know what I'm saying? I think it might help them a little bit better with floor spacing and stuff like that.
With the Pacers, they had
only if you have a stretch 5 though.
Stretch 5, exactly. Brook Lopez would have been a good situation if he wouldn't have re-signed or whatnot, but I don't know how many big men are out there that can really stretch the floor to bring that available to have the hoop open. You said what?
I look back when he was with the Pacers. I believe they had Miles Turner, and he could hit the 3, but he was like the 5, I believe. Miles Turner,
the 5, right? He was. He was.
I don't know if they both started together. I wasn't really watching the Pacers a lot at that time, but I know they were on the same team. I'm sure they were on the court.
Right.
I believe they did start together.
Okay.
But and when he was.
By your way, JaVale McGee there talking about Dallas is talking about parting ways with JaVale McGee.
See, there you go. So I mean, hey, Kings, for me,
trading Tim Hardaway too.
So y'all think they need a stretch 5?
I think they need a 5 in general, bro. To be honest with you,
I do
you know
too.
what I mean. JaVale, I feel like will come in there and be the big physical big man that you need because Sabonis is not physical like that. I mean, he can, but he can't grind with the bigger big dudes like with Jokic or somebody like that. He's not gonna be able to go ahead and grind with him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Through a 4 or 5 game series, if they get down to the playoffs or something like that. So you're gonna need another body in there that's gonna take that up off of him, so that way he can go ahead and mainly focus on passing and scoring.
Yeah, I agree. So definitely need a big. But now I'm definitely excited about the Sacramento Kings this upcoming season. I think it's going to be a really good season, hopefully better than the last. But there are teams coming, and there's going to be and now we got a target on our back. And people know that we were third. These teams know we were third in the West. They're going to come. They're going to come with it. When you come to Golden One, you're not going to slack off anymore. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
So the Kings aren't catching anybody off guard. So it's going to be interesting. Let's get to Dame Lillard. Teddy White, man. So tell me your thoughts on this Dame Lillard situation. Apparently, him and his agent are letting it be known that he only wants to play for the Miami Heat, right? I believe Portland's trying to find the best trade for them. And then from the outside looking in, when we look at it, looking at the Heat roster right now, I don't really see how that makes sense for Portland just to do a straight up trade with the Heat. People are saying, I heard somebody, I think his agents, there was a reporter or something, I guess they were saying they talked to his people. They feel like Portland should do right by Dame. Well, why does doing right by a player mean having to send him to the only team he's requesting? Why can't I not send you to a Philly? You would still be in a great situation. Why can't I send you to a Boston? You would still be in a great basketball situation. So it's kind of like, that's just my take. But Teddy, what you think of all this with Dame right now?
You know what? Again, I said this on the last podcast. It's starting to become corny, right? Like it's starting to become.
Well, you were saying the loyalty was becoming corny, but I think this is becoming even more corny. Like,
it's going together for sure.
The whole story, just in general, is just starting to become corny.
Yeah,
definitely.
And we had this conversation earlier. I feel like both teams are in the wrong. Both teams,
100%.
Not both teams. Both parties is in the wrong. Both parties have held on to something way too long than what they were supposed to. You know what I'm saying?
Is that wrong? I mean, I don't know if that's wrong though. That might have. We could say that's a mistake.
Well, I feel like
it's a mistake once we get to this point.
Exactly, I agree because it was too drawn out. It went too long for too many years. You know what I mean? Granted, Dame did try to go ahead and be loyal to Portland. He tried to stick around for them to go ahead and get the right pieces around him.
Portland paid him.
And Portland did pay him and stuff like that. But, at the end of the day, when it's like, all right, well, I want to go ahead and go here to this team and this team only. And then it's like, okay, we're going to go ahead and do right by you.
Their hands are tied because now the narrative is going to be, they didn't do right by Dame if they don't send him to the one. Bro, there's 20-something, 8 other teams you can go to right now. And, you're just saying,
he's trying to get down there to South Beach for whatever reason. And like I said, I feel like that's not the right move. I know you want to go down there for the lifestyle and stuff like that, but if you actually trying to go ahead and go down there to win, by the time they go ahead and break up that team to go ahead and get that trade right,
exactly.
You know what I mean? It's not going to be anything there, but what him, Bam, and Jimmy.
Yeah.
Well, what do you build around that?
I don't think that Dame is making the move necessarily for this year. I think it's, you know what I'm saying? I don't think
it's not for sure, definitely for sure.
So it is. So going there, even when you go to a job, any job, you're not necessarily thinking it's going to be great the first year, but you're going to grow into it. He just knows that it's a culture. One thing that Miami does offer that Boston does not offer is stability in the upper management and on the coaching staff. And this is coming from Dame, who has had a new coach how many different times?
No, I agree.
Makes sense.
No, I agree with you. I agree with you with the stability part and the culture part. But
the culture for sure.
But I disagree with he's looking forward to future seasons. The reason I disagree with that is when you're Dame, you're not looking at I have all these years left in my career.
No, absolutely not.
You're approaching mid-30s. How old is Dame Lillard, to be exact?
I mean, he put 10 good years in Portland so far. So I mean, Dame's 32, 33.
So you're approaching mid-30s, and you've had injuries. You've had major injuries. He was out with abdominal injury for a while. So he's 32 years old. He'll actually be 33. He's turning 30 next week, July 15th.
Oh.
He'll be so he'll be 33 July 15th. I don't think he's looking ahead. I think he wants to win now, but I think he's being. I think he's being a prisoner in the moment, like a lot of people have been seeing Miami, seeing what they did. Like, if you put me on that team, what could we have did? But he's not looking at the situation from a logical perspective. You're looking at being a prisoner moment, seeing what they did, but I feel like just throwing him on there and taking those other guys away. Max Strus is now a Cleveland Cavalier. Gabe Vincent is now a Laker. Kyle Lowry probably won't be there. Plus, they wouldn't fit together. He'd probably be involved in the trade somehow, 3-way, whatever. So he'd be gone. Tyler Hero will probably be gone. You might have a Caleb Martin, Duncan Robinson, kind of like thing going on. But then after that, you're not going to be able to add. You're not going to be able to add much after that.
That luxury,
with those three contracts. And then what? So I don't feel like
All-Star break, maybe All-Star break.
I feel like Dame is thinking he can win now. I don't think he's looking ahead. And I feel
he said all these.
No, he does. He does.
So
he absolutely does.
Teddy, you said that. Go ahead. My bad.
No, for him to want to choose Miami right now, he does think that they can win now. And when I say win now, that doesn't necessarily mean this season right here.
Right.
Because
I'm thinking this season. You put me there.
My thing is, I'm with Steph on that one, because it's like Miami's made the finals 2 out of the last 3 years. I want to say. So they're on the brink of just like that one piece that can go ahead and get them over the top. So he's looking at like, okay, well, dang, they've been there. You put me there. I might be able to go ahead and help them elevate and get that trophy. You know what I mean? But like we said earlier, you know what I mean? And even you just made a good comment right there. Teddy is saying, okay, if I go ahead and go here, we trade all these pieces and stuff like that, right? You talking about All-Star break. Who can you get during the All-Star break?
Right. And then who you going to trade?
You know what I mean?
Who you trading?
And who are you trading?
I always tell people when we talk about trades, you have to trade value to get value back. You can't. I can't just give you a whole bunch of junk and you give me. It doesn't work like that. And right now, and one thing people aren't really accounting for when I say people, I'm talking about Dame and his people, is Miami got there because of who they had. If that makes sense.
Yes,
those gritty, grindy guys who were trying to prove themselves and who ended up getting contracts with other teams. You know what I mean? The Struces, the Vincents. Caleb Martin. He came over from Charlotte. He balled out. So I feel like that's kind of like what made this year up for them. I don't think just being like, you just put me there, we're just going to make that same run. I just don't see that. Milwaukee's going to be healthy, and that team's been together for a long time. I don't feel like they would have beat Milwaukee if Giannis was 100%. I just don't feel like that. I don't.
That's something for debate.
We'll never know. We'll never know.
We'll never know.
But I don't feel like they would have. The Knicks, that was kind of like a toss-up series anyway. I feel like if Julius Randle would have like just kind of locked in and really, I feel like that could have been. I feel like the Knicks were more talented top to bottom when you look at that team. And then
that
Boston,
in
Boston, they imploded. That was self-inflicted. Boston, we know, is a better team than Miami, like talent-wise.
Definitely,
we know that. So that run that they made is just, I don't want to say it's not real, because it was real, but it's not typical. You know what I mean? Right. It's not a typical run that they made. So, I don't know. We'll see, but that's where Dame wants to go. I feel like he'd be better suited than Philly. I feel like if there's a way that you can kind of do a 3-way with Harden. I just saw Zach LaVine's name involved in Portland and Philly, and I was like, maybe you can get. I don't know if Harden would be willing to go to Chicago or Portland, but if he gets paid, which seems like that's the only thing he wants to do. You've been to every other team. What more do you want? So go to one of these teams that give you all the money you want, all the shots you want. I think maybe you can do like a Chicago. I don't know where he wants to go, but
he wants to go to Houston. That's his destination. He wants to get to Houston so bad for whatever reason. I know the reason why he wants to.
Houston's not. Not at all. Maybe it could be a Portland or Houston, or Chicago. So LaVine.
But like I said, if you do that,
put LaVine in Portland, or I don't know.
I feel like I do feel like that if that Dame trade does happen,
I think that's a good 3-way.
It has to be a 3-way trade for sure.
But those three particular teams, I feel like that's a really good 3-way trade.
Well, maybe like a couple pieces here, or maybe a draft pick here, there, whoever feels like they're you know what I mean.
But however,
not too much.
However, you need to work it out. I feel like you can make a move with those three, and then Dame, like, you're still in a good situation. Like, if you want to win, that Philly situation with you, Tobias, Embiid, Maxey. Come on, bro. Like, that's way better than what you can get with Miami.
In Miami, I agree, 110%.
So
that Miami team will get folded if they go ahead and go over there.
No stability.
Yeah, no, it's definitely no stability in Philly for sure. You know what I mean? I agree. There's definitely no stability in Philly for sure.
I don't like that. I don't like that as
I mean, I like what Eric Spoelstra and Pat Riley has going on in Miami.
Here's what we need to ask: does he want to win? Do you want to win or not?
I mean, you can win in Miami. Don't get me wrong, you can win in Miami. But like I said,
you can win games.
You can win
games in Miami.
Yeah, you can. But
you're not going to no championship.
The East is not as deep as how the West is.
That's why you know what I mean. So if you put him with Embiid and Maxey and Tobias,
of course, for sure. I agree.
Are you
kidding
me?
Ain't no debate about that at all.
I don't look at.
You have a better chance. For sure.
I don't look at Bam and Jimmy like oh my God, they won't. I don't look at it like that.
I don't either.
So,
and like I said, I think it's more so like, okay, you got Bam, you have, you know what I'm saying, what's called there, too, Butler there, but it's the lifestyle that Miami brings, the culture that Miami brings. Like,
that's what he's worried about? Is that what he's worried about?
I think so. I mean, you haven't had it in Portland since you came into the league.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? I mean, you had a couple good years with him and CJ, but
at the end of the day, we don't know what he's thinking, what he's assuming, why he wants to go. I think bro just wants to go there because what he just saw, he just saw them do.
Go to Philly, bro.
I feel like because of that run, he's looking like, ooh, right. You put me there, like, man. But not realizing the team's got to be gutted to add you.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's not going to be the same team. So, and if one of them gets injured, now what? You know what I mean? Let Bam get hurt. You know what I'm saying? Or let Dame get hurt. This is Jimmy. So I don't know. But
it'd be the Jimmy and Dame show.
But nah, at that point, definitely gonna keep an eye on that.
It'd be back to you and CJ type situation 2.0.
Nah,
you feel me? So
definitely gonna keep an eye on that. But nah, yeah. So we just want to go in here real quick and just kind of touch on these topics real quick. We're definitely gonna watch Wembanyama's actually about to come on right now, so we're gonna watch that game, and then we're gonna come back and talk about him. Maybe we'll do another video tomorrow, kind of touch on how he looked tonight. Is there anything y'all want to wrap this up with before we get up out of here? Anything with Bol Bol? Bol Bol got released by the Orlando Magic. I feel like he is a very low risk, high reward player.
Definitely,
you can get for probably cheap right now. Baby Wembanyama, but put the ball on the floor. He's not like the rebounder, shot blocker, but he's almost he has like a KD-esque type game to him, and I don't know why he just cannot get on the floor. These bad teams. Well, he was with Denver before, couldn't get on the floor with Mike Malone behind Aaron Gordon and behind Jokic. So I understand that. Or Porter Jr. Then he goes to Orlando. Don't know why they didn't work out there because they ain't got nobody.
They have nobody over there.
So I don't know why he wasn't really getting the run down there. But I feel like if you give those guys extended minutes and let him play somewhere in a good system, but give him a good 15-20 minutes, give him a solid look, you're playing 20 minutes, you know what I mean? Like, I think he could do something with that. So where could y'all see Bol Bol landing? Teddy White, let's go with you.
Sometimes, going from Denver going to Orlando, team that wasn't really too good, that needed players, and now he getting released over there, it kind of makes me scratch my head and not necessarily say what's wrong with them. It makes me say, you know what? Well, what's wrong with him? I am a big Bol Bol fan. I'm a big Bol Bol fan. So hopefully he does get the opportunity, whether it works out for him or not. Maybe we'll get the opportunity to see him on the court, and it will put our wonders to rest. You know what I mean? The reasons of why he's not getting the proper time or why he keeps getting released. You know what I mean? But these organizations ain't dumb.
They're not.
They're not perfect, but they're not perfect either.
And they're not perfect either. They're definitely not perfect.
They're not perfect, and they don't always make the right decisions.
Absolutely, they don't. So at this time, you know what? We're going what the second team. I know he was drafted by another team, then end up going to Denver.
Well, this is third team, right? Or third or fourth?
Miami originally, and then Denver. I think I'm going to say it was a trade. Denver got him. And now he's being released from Orlando. I mean, I got the stats here. He played 70 games last year, 33 starts. He averaged 9 points, 5 rebounds, and 1 assist. So,
and how many minutes a game?
You know what? I did not get the minutes on.
Okay, that's definitely important. So he did get drafted by Denver in 2019.
Denver and Orlando going to teams he played for.
And again, so like with him, like I said, we know like Denver, it just wasn't enough minutes down there for him.
But Orlando though, why you couldn't get no minutes down there,
again,
or why couldn't get no burn in my?
Who knows?
Or in Orlando like that.
30 starts. I know. What's the guy they drafted some years ago? Jonathan Isaac was hurt again. He was hurt like 2 straight seasons. So I know he was kind of filling in for him, getting some burn. But hold on. I'm curious about his minutes in Orlando. So I'm going to look here really quickly. But yeah, I mean, I feel like there's I feel like there's something there with him. So like you said, 9.1.
It's like playing the lottery with this boy right now. You know what I mean?
But almost 6 rebounds. So 5.5. He was averaging 5.8, 9.1, 5.8. And then do we have his minutes? So it looks like about 21 minutes a game. It's not bad. That's not bad.
It's not bad.
That's not bad at all for 21 minutes again. Like field goal percentage, he shot about 55%. 3-point percentage could use improvement, 26.5. Free throws, he shot 75%. Average about average a block a game. I mean, he's a guy who needs to be on the court. Some guys aren't. Guys just aren't bench players. Like some guys need. You got to just throw them out there, see what they can do, and he might be a 2010 guy. He could be.
Yeah,
he could be.
Well, I mean, from what I'm seeing right here, man. They said that
because if he averaged 9 and 6 rebounds in 20 minutes.
Right.
If he got 30 minutes, maybe 16 and 10. That's serviceable. I think any team would take that. You know what I mean? So, again, like
well, right now, from what I'm seeing, the teams that are interested in him
Phoenix
is the Lakers
and Phoenix,
Suns, and the Bucks.
I think
so far.
Phoenix might be a good situation for him because they don't have a bench right now. And they're going to need somebody to kind of back up KD.
Definitely.
And you can kind of run a lot of the same actions with him because similar builds, kind of tall, slender guys who can put the ball on the floor, dribble, things like that. So
I think he would have I think out of the 3 teams I've named, Lakers, Bucks, I mean, he's not going to get no burn if he goes to Milwaukee.
He's not getting any burn.
You're playing behind Brook, you're playing behind Middleton, you're playing behind Giannis. You know what I mean? Don't go there.
What do you see? What do you see, Teddy? Out of those 3 teams,
I said the Suns because go ahead, Teddy.
Yeah, probably Phoenix. I think I would like Phoenix for him just for the simple fact that good coach. Who they have? Vogel, right?
Vogel.
Yeah, Vogel. Yeah, got Vogel.
He's good with bigs too.
Good with bigs, good defensive coach, and you know what? The veterans there, I believe, will also help.
They bring him along.
Definitely.
Booker. All those guys will bring him along.
Definitely, for sure.
Absolutely. Being
Bill.
He up all them. I
feel like I agree with y'all. I feel like the Suns is the best option for him, honestly. For him to go ahead and get some burn, for him to go ahead and get the experience to learn.
But not even necessarily to burn, just to get the experience.
Game. For sure.
You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Sometimes these youngsters have to slow down.
And like I said, he don't even have to go ahead and average 20. I would give him 15 just to see what he can go ahead and do in 15 minutes. You know what I'm saying? 15 a game or something. You know what I'm saying? And then if he gets better and things start to go ahead and look a little bit more upward, then we'll go ahead and up your. You know what I mean? Just to see. But like I said, I also do feel like, you got to be in the right place, right time, right team, right system. You know
Definitely,
what I mean?
At this point, how I would approach it is I would bring him and I would say, man, this is about you actually, your minutes. This ain't about your numbers. This is, I want you to learn the game from
develop.
Me.
Yes.
You have not had the opportunity to have that. Denver you didn't have that opportunity. The team was developing so fast. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you're competing with an all-star player. So you're not necessarily getting the opportunity.
Yeah.
And now you're going into a situation where the players are established.
Yes.
You got some players that do have a ring that's on the team, and they know what it takes to become better, and they know what it takes to win. So basically, you know what, Bol Bol, I just want you to come in. I want you to be yourself, and I want you to learn the game, something that you have not been doing.
And I think for me, when I look at guys like that, and the reason why I get kind of passionate when I talk about guys like that, because I feel like some of these guys can play. But I feel like these organizations don't give these guys the proper. Cam Reddish, one of those guys I talked about on one of the other videos. Like, I feel like there's certain players who we know they have the talent,
right?
But then they get the narrative that they can't play or they're not NBA players for whatever. But why? I feel like sometimes it don't be these players. I feel like sometimes it be these organizations, it be these coaches. They don't get everything right. They don't. And then that hurts the player who goes around and now there's a narrative about this player because all these other GMs didn't know how to implement them in their system. So
yes, sir.
You know, I just want to see him get his due. I feel like he has a lot of upside. But now, so man, we just wanted to kind of touch on these topics real quick, man. Definitely appreciate you guys watching this video. I go by the name of Stealth. We got Doughboy Bush. We got Teddy White. Please follow us on Twitter. Also, too, if you guys are on Threads is that new IG Twitter type thing. I'm on there.
I haven't went there yet.
I'll put mine in the bio. If y'all sign up, I'll put y'all's on there. But if you're on Threads, I'm gonna be really active on there.
I'm gonna definitely sign up. So it's gonna be the same thing as my name, right? Well, still without it 2 eyes or something like that's gonna be the one. So you know what I'm saying? It'll be the same without the one.
So basically, it's linked to your IG. So you would just create the threads, and then it's gonna import your name over from the IG. Okay. Yeah. So, but no, yeah. So I'm gonna be over there. A lot of people going over there right now. I'm going to be going crazy during NFL, NBA season. I'm going to be on there, you know what I mean, interacting with everybody, talking to everybody, dropping my opinions, you know what I'm saying, mid-game. I'm probably going to do that right now is when Banyama's playing. I'll probably be on Threads.
Yes,
so
sir.
Follow us on there, man. So that's about it. Just want to tap in with y'all. Thank you guys for watching this podcast, and we will be back probably next week, or we'll figure out anything that pops off. Dame might get traded any day. We'll hop on and talk about that. Definitely talk about the summer league. We'll be watching these games over the next week or so, and yes, then we're gonna go from there, man. Doughboy Bush, Teddy White, man. I love y'all, brothers.
Gang.
We up out of here.
Yes, sir.